What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Edition, Season 18, Episode 7. The episode was titled Disrespect. Alright, guys, this was a pretty good episode, honestly. So before we get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and are not yet subscribed to the channel, I'm gonna need you guys to do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on, share this video, like this video. And you guys, with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Edition, shall we? So this episode, we pick up literally where we left off. You guys remember last week's episode, Dr. Ish, he went to Mally's room and he was talking to Mally about, whether Mally's gonna stay in boot camp or if Mally will be going home, right? Because we all know that Mally and Treasure lied about their relationship. Mally and Treasure were never in a relationship with one another. This was a storyline that they cooked up to come onto the show for them to advance their careers, basically, for her, and basically just to make $100,000. I wonder if they even got, I'm pretty positive they got paid for it, but it wasn't that full $100,000. Wasn't that $400,000. So we find out from the producers that Treasure shared, text messages with them where they orchestrated the storyline. So the storyline was to be that she and Mally, they had been dating for 4 years off and on. Now you guys remember last week they showed their casting interviews with the producers, right? Mally said that they had been together for a year. Treasure said that they had been off and on for a year. Now here's my thing. Did the producers not do that? Like that? Did they? Who cast this season? Like, who cast this season? Did y'all? Y'all literally heard in that casting tape. She said 4 years. He said 1 year. Those numbers don't add up. But y'all still brought them on the show. So y'all are just as wrong as Mally and Treasure. And the issue that I have with this is the fact that with y'all are coming down so hard on Mally and Treasure, but y'all have had other couples in the past that were not real couples. Chalet and Stu are not a real couple. Chalet and Stu are not a real couple. I remember that verbatim. Chalet and Stu had gone out on maybe 1 or 2 dates. They had went on some dates with each other, but they were not in a relationship with one another. Teeny Fizzlepop and Tiffany were not a real couple. Thank you to the person who left that comment. I couldn't remember. I remember I had watched her on Monique's channel. I just didn't remember exactly what all she had said. And then also, I've been talking about Miles and Amber. Miles and Amber are not a real couple. Miles and Amber, they're two good friends who decided to just come on this show. Now, Miles and Amber may have issues in their friendship, which we gonna definitely talk about that. Miles and Amber are toxic as hell. Like, my best friend is a woman, and I can never talk to my best friend like the way that they talk to each other. I can never talk to my best friend like that. God, I can never talk to her like that. If I talk to my best friend like that, or she vice versa talk to me like that, I would know that our friendship is over. I would be like, you don't love me at all. Like, you can't love me, saying that kind of shit to me. But let's see. So we see the others. So they're talking. We see Tough. We saw Neri and Nori. They were discussing Mally, right? And then I know that the others, they all at one point started talking, and they all pointed out the one thing that I noticed about Mally. Mally, whenever he talks to someone, he's like, right. He's looking for He needs validation, and he's worried about what people think of him and how people perceive him, right? So Dr. Ish asked Mally if he feels that sex with Treasure was it consensual and were there drugs involved. He believes, yes, that it was consensual, and he says no, drugs were not involved. I don't believe it. So at the end of it, Dr. Ish told Mally, so unfortunately, this is for couples. You're not a couple with anyone, so you're gonna have to go. And then they showed us, what happened after he left, that he got sentenced to 3 years in prison because of the whole situation, his legal issues, right? So we're gonna pause here and move forward, you guys. So Dr. Ish calls the boot campers out to the driveway, and it's empty, right? So we are 3 days, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah, we're 3 days away from decision day, right? So today, each couple will confront each other as if they are in an argument when they're back home, right? So what they will do is they're gonna switch roles. Um, so I'm gonna run down all the couples. Moni and Tough. So Moni is going to be, Tough. Tough is going to be Moni when they have an argument at home. Miles is going to be Amber. Amber's going to be Miles when they have an argument. Nori is going to be Neri, and Neri is going to be Nori when they have arguments with each other. So the first person that goes up, and they're going to say what their partner says to them in the heat of an argument back home, right? So Moni and Tough went first, right? And their argument is about why didn't Moni help him with his career after she found out that he was cheating on her. So she's acting out how Tough acts to her, right? And basically, in a nutshell, Tough is always trying to come down hard on her because she backed out. Like, you want me to help you with your career, but you out here sleeping with this person, that person, and the next person. Like, explain how that makes sense to you and how that works for me. So she's doing him, right. He can't really do Moni because when him and Moni get into a heat of an argument, especially when it's about this one, he says he doesn't listen to her and he blacks out. But that's a big, huge issue right there. The fact that you're arguing with her, so you want to get your point across, you're getting your point across to her, but when she's telling you how she feels, you just completely zone out on Moni. That's a problem, Tough. Like, you really got to think about that. Why is it that when my girl is arguing with me about something that I did, that I just say, you know what, I ain't gonna listen to what she's saying. So then Nori and Neri go next, right? And honestly, I don't really have an issue. I have an issue, but not a big issue with what Neri says to Nori, right? Because she calls him selfish. She called him spoiled. She tells him it's all about him, which it is. And, we'll talk about it a little later. It is. But what Nori says to her is, I'm like, this is your wife that you're saying this shit to, right? So he has an issue that she goes out with her single friends. He calls one of them a hoe. He says that's why she ain't got no man. I'm like, is that so? You really feel that just because, like, she could be single because she wants to be single, not saying that she's single because she just can't find a man. The woman might choose to be single, but he calls her friends hoes and bitches. And I'm like, so what do you think about your wife? Like, you think that with your wife going out with her friends who are single, that turns her into a bitch and a hoe? Like, is that what you're saying? Like, I did not like that at all. And then he also tells her, I do this for you, I do that for you. So it's basically like you're just holding the purse strings over her head. Like, hey, I do this for you, so you got to stay home. You got to cook for me. You got to clean for me. You got to take care of the kids. You got to do this. You got to do that. It's all about what she has to do because he does this. Don't agree with it. So then the other couple, the other fake couple, Miles and Amber. My jaw dropped when these two went. The volatility of this, the toxicity. I mean, he calls her a hoe. He calls her a hoe. She throws up his sexuality. She calls him a queen, a punk, and then he hits her with. You guys remember last week I mentioned this, that we all knew that on Love and Hip Hop, their first season on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, that Amber had a kid that wasn't Miles, but Miles loved that little girl as if she was his, right? You guys remember last week I told you guys Amber has another baby. She's about three or 4 years old. He's not her father. And he throws it up in her face. So he says that, they were, when they got back together, that, I'm not going to talk. Well, yeah, he said that they were supposed to have a baby, but she went and had a baby with another dude, right? Here's my thing. The fact that she says the most vile and disgusting things to you, you still, like, she calls you a F word, a queen, and a punk, and you still bump the relationship that I think that's fake as hell. The friendship. Like I said, my best friend is a woman. I would never in my life call my best friend a hoe. I would never call her a bitch. I would never do any of that stuff. Like she has a daughter. And I love her child. Love her to death. Like I would just like if we got into an argument, which we've had our fights, but we never got into an argument. But I just would never do my best friend like that. I couldn't. Especially I just could never. And I know she would never disrespect me. That is one thing I can say. I know that about her. Because like I said, we've had our arguments. And with our argument, we just stopped talking to each other. We literally just stopped talking to each other. And it was trivial and very small. The argument, it wasn't even an argument. She got mad at me about something. And she came back to me and she's like, you know what? I was mad at you. She's like, it was stupid why I was mad at you in the first place. And we made up. And we've been friends ever since that interaction, that altercation. It wasn't an altercation. It was a situation. And we've been friends ever since. She realized she was wrong because I was playing a joke on her and she took it too seriously. But she was pregnant at the time. So her hormones were everywhere. But yeah, she apologized to me and our friendship is stronger than it's ever been. I'm actually glad that happened because our friendship is a lot stronger than it was before that. That strengthened our friendship. That strengthened our friendship and our bond with each other. But I just can never in my life disrespect my best friend. Like I never would. I will never do that. And it was a disrespect. It was really the disrespect with those two. But we're gonna pause here and I think we're gonna wrap up the episode, you guys. Yeah, we're wrapping up the episode. So Dr. Ish then calls the couples, they go in. So Dr. Ish wanted the couples to discuss with someone else that's not their partner what they heard. So Nori and Tuff are talking. Neri is talking to Miles, and Moni is talking to Amber. Now Moni did get affected by that comment that Miles made about Amber's children. Because she has other kids outside of the child that she has with Tuff, so she felt some type of way about that. And I understood that, right? I understood that. Like I always say, it takes a real man to be able to raise another man's kid. But when you get mad in the heat of the moment, don't ever throw those kids in the situation because those kids have nothing to do with it, right? So then we see Dr. Ish. She has them come out to a movie screen, right? So what they're gonna do with this is they got a transcript of everything that they said. So they're gonna read this transcript to a loved one. So Moni has to read it to her daughter. And her daughter said, yeah, that's kind of how my mom is. She thinks she's giving good advice, but she's really not. She's just coming off really rough. And Moni was like, oh, thank you. Like she didn't really realize that, right? So her daughter has also saw her with interactions with Tuff, and Dr. Ish asked her, so in that situation, what did you do? And Mona said she got her little sister and got out the room. I was like, oh my God, y'all doing this around a baby? That's sad, right? And I know Moni said that her daughter is not the biggest fan of Tuff because of what Tuff did to her, and rightfully so. Like if someone did that to my mom, cheated on my mom when she was pregnant with your child, I'm not gonna be as forgiving. So then we have Amber. So Amber goes and her sister Kelly is on the screen, right? And we're gonna say prayers up to Kelly in her battle with breast cancer. Sending you so much positive vibes, Kelly. Sending you positive vibes. I wish you nothing but the best. That's all I can give. That's really what I'm just sending to you. I'm sending you a positive vibration, Kelly, that, you beat and kick cancer's ass. I really hope that. I really hope and pray that she kicks cancer's ass. So Amber then reads out to what she says about Miles. Yeah, ho, this nigga wants another nigga. She, and she's talking about he a F word. He this punk, this queen, this that. Her sister's face was like, her sister, and it was so sad because her sister, when she saw her on the screen, when she saw Amber, Her face literally lit up. Amber's face went down because she was like, oh, I don't want to do this because my sister, she's going through cancer. And, her sister was like, I don't like that. She's like, I love Miles. She's like, I absolutely love Miles because Miles has been there for me with my journey with cancer. He goes to appointments with me. She's like, the things that you said to him are very, very disgusting. And they are. The things that Miles and Amber both say to each other are terrible and disgusting. So then, Nori has to talk to one of his homeboys, and his boy's like, yeah, like if he said that to me and him would have to go out on the street and fight. Exactly. You are sitting here berating your wife. Like, I get that you might not like her friends, but you have to trust your wife. Like, that's the thing. Trust your wife. Know that, she's been with you all this time. I'm pretty sure if she wanted to cheat or do anything, she would have done it by now. Trust your wife and stop hanging things over her head, right? So then Tough talks to his homeboy. Moni tuned out, right? And I'm gonna give Moni this because what his homeboy said, I did not like. I did not agree with him with what he said, because he said if he heard Moni and Tough arguing like this, he would tell them to take it into another room. Why would you tell them to take it into another room? But then he cleaned it up. He says, take it in another room and clear your head. No, that's not what you do. What you do is you grab your boy. You take your boy to the side. You pull your boy to the side and you be like, man, why are you sitting over arguing with your woman like this? Like, this is disrespectful. Like, she's telling you how she feels and you talking about how you feel. You're the one that disrespected her, that violated her in a terrible way. Listen to what she's saying. Stop trying to get your point across. Listen to her, internalize what she's saying, and work on making things better. Don't go into another room and try to argue with her. You cool down, think about what she's actually saying to you, and then have a healthy conversation with her. But Moni tuned that out. So then Miles has to go, right? Miles talks to his sister Charmaine. We met Charmaine on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, right? So Miles starts talking about the things he says to Amber. He calls her a hoe. Them kids ain't mine. And his sister, her face went down. She was like, that is not how he was raised, right? And then she said something that was like a light bulb to me. Miles is still hurting because their mother passed away. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense why he's so hurt. Because I really empathize with Miles because I know what that's like. My mom has been gone now almost 5 years. And there are times that I know when she first passed away, I lashed out at my family. And I still do lash out at them, right? I still do. I'm not going to say I'm not perfect and I'm not a perfect person, but I still have my moments where I lash out. But I'm working on being better. But at the same time, I'm not going to talk about my issues, but I really did feel bad for him, right? So Judge Tola come out and talk to the group. And then, they go back and they have conversations with each other. Nori and Neri, they really need to talk. Because Nori wants more kids, but Neri got a dog, and he don't like that. But you guys, that's the end of the episode. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Leave your comments in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel. And hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Share the video, and until the next one, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye.